Hey guys, Joe here. The guy who I think I'm gonna be stuck fighting monsters in Monster Hunter for a good little bit. Before a small family emergency. At least I was told it was an emergency. It's something, but it's not the end of the world, thankfully. But I played that a lot on Friday, and it's fantastic. Anyways, probably going to be doing that when I'm not recording, sleeping, or working. So if you're a fan of those, it's really good. But we're not here to talk about my video game review. We're here, ASMR Joe is here, and we're here to talk about a UFC Fight Night. This one featured a flyweight fight between Manel Kape and Asu Almabayev? Forgot how they were saying on the broadcast. These are things I need to pay attention to. Anyways, enough talk. Let's get to the fights. Main event was a flyweight fight between Manel Kape and Asu Almabayev. This fight, if I remember right, I'm always worried when it comes to Manel Kape, because I go oh, this guy should be fighting for a title. I personally think Manel Kape is one that he fought. I think it was his debut. He fought, what's it called? He fought Pantoja in his debut. He's obviously kind of gotten more accustomed to how fighting in the UFC is. He's made improvements since then. I say, why not? But you always expect to see the upset here. Honestly, though, Kape just put a whooping on Almabayev. Just faster, cleaner, and the longer the fight went, his striking was just getting better and better because he started taunting more. He was feeling himself more, which is always a good thing. When you want a striker starts taunting a little bit. Sometimes it can end up being a bad thing. But I think on these looser guys like Adesanya, Manel Kape, I always kind of look for that and I go, okay, he's feeling himself. He's kind of hit that flow state a little bit. And he was getting flashy with the strikes, a little bit more spinning attacks, jumping knees, the like. And then he had to go and ruin it. He had to just go ruin this awesome performance I wanted to gush over about by just scraping his eyes, Almabayev's eyes with his hand. And it led to the finish. He complained and ref didn't see it, so he just pours on the strikes and gets a finish. I mean, he was winning for sure, but his hands are always open. He has this very, very open-handed stance with his fists are where he's at. I mean, he was winning, sure. And I think he is number one contender personally for the flyweight title. I would imagine it's either they could probably do Royval, run that for a third fight, but I don't know. Maybe Kai Kara-France. I know Kai Kara-France might probably be the guy that they go with next, but I'd imagine number one contender, in terms of meritocracy, is Manel Kape. Because Kai Kara-France has the bonus appeal of one beating Steve Ercik, who gave Pantoja a very, very, very tough fight. And he hasn't fought Pantoja yet, so that's kind of a new thing. It's it's new blood, we want this. And with the Kaya Sakura thing, it was new blood is kind of a big thing. They're really looking for. But this one was, I thought he was number one guy in terms of meritocracy. I thought he was before this fight, and just what a rough way for this fight to finish. It's very frustrating, I think, personally, but what can you do? Last week, our fight had eye pokes that led to a bad stop, to a fight stoppage. So, very frustrating 2 weeks in a row. You gotta love the fact that these changed these gloves back based on John Jones going, I don't like them. Yeah, you know what? We're done. We're going back to these gloves forever. I didn't think the other gloves are perfect, but it seemed like we were getting less and less eye pokes. But it could just be a small sample size. Who knows? Maybe I'm crazy. I came in like a wrecking ball. I never hit too hard in love. Co-main event was actually a pretty good fight. Cody Brundage versus Julian Marquez, the Cuban Missile Crisis, I think his name is, which I think that was kind of a funnier name. You know, these guys just kind of brawled and just threw bombs at each other. Brundage just dropped a big shot on Marquez, followed up with more bombs, and it's over. And and the reason I chose to talk about this one a little bit more than the other ones is it's kind of funny. Not funny, maybe not the word. It's kind of odd, I think, to see Marquez fall so far, because this is 4 losses in a row now. And at one point, this dude was like a promising up-and-comer, then 4 straight losses. And I think this guy is proof that middleweight needs a little bit of love, because I think this guy could have been something really fun. You know, I think he got knocked out by RoboCop, but, you know, RoboCop was another guy that's like, oh, I kind of wanted him to, you know, beat Cannonier so we can see more guys kind of move up. You know, and here we are. But I think with Marquez, everyone as fans know exactly the pinpoint moment, like, he started falling off. And it's him fumbling Miley Cyrus. Never forget that. I'll never forget it. He said, Miley Cyrus, will you be my Valentine? Which is really funny. It's kind of funny. She actually responded and she says, yeah, carve a heart in your chest hair and you got a deal. Damn. I mean, I don't think, who am I to say, you know, right? I mean, look at me. But, you know, Miley Cyrus isn't like necessarily a crush of mine, but it's like, for, you know, if my crush said that after a fight and I did that mess, you know, like, I'm going all in. Let's go. And hey, why not, man? You know, especially when he's punching up. He's punching up big time there. You know, his celebrity crush. My celebrity crush did that. You know, hey, I'm doing it. And he goes, I'll do it if you get a henna tattoo that says Cuban Missile Crisis. What a way to... And she even said, what a way to ruin it. Everybody's like, oh, this guy ruined it. Dropped the bag. Fumbled the bag there. Big time. Fumbled the bag big time. And that's when it all just started going raw downhill. It's really funny to me. Can't escape it. I'm always going to remember it when I see him fight. Then we had Esteban Ribovic and Nasrat Hakparast. Wild fight. This is my favorite fight of the night. Back and forthness. You know, so because Hakparast was very early on having great success with the striking, good couple shots here and there, good liver kicks here and there, and moving well. He was landing, I thought, the harder, cleaner shots, but he starts to slow down, and Ribovic starts to pick up the pace. It's around the second round that you kind of see the tide shift. I think these guys, in like a 15-minute fight, I think these guys legitimately had like 7.5 minutes exactly down the line, probably, of who was in control of the fight, who was winning it. And for me, that's a recipe for a draw, you know. But, you know, you have to judge it like round by round, so it's a little weird. And even though Hakparast is like exhausted and isn't doing anything with it, he gets a takedown in round 3. So you kind of, I'm sure some people are like, oh, you kind of have to give it to Hakparast. Sure, I actually think it's really close. Personally, I think you could have gone either way, and I would have been happy with it. I'm happy with the decision. I was rooting for Ribovic in this fight because I loved this fight last year. My fight of the year last year at Noche UFC 2 at the Sphere, sponsored by who sponsored it? If I remember right, it was sponsored by, was it Riyadh or was it Riyadh? I don't know. I don't remember. It was something really funny, like random sponsor they had. Riyadh season, I think. But I was rooting for Ribovic here because I was like, oh, the fight last year made me a fan. And I mean, I think this fight was really close, and I'm okay with Hakparast winning. I just, you know, scoring's weird, right? You know, I score it full fight. Typically, I try not to sometimes, and I caught myself here. I didn't score it round by round. I scored it full fight. So I was like, huh? Oh, well, okay, sure. All right, I guess. That's the old pride in me. Pride never dies. Anyways, the rest of the card, because I've been rambling for a good 10 minutes here. Hyder Emil beats William Gomez by split decision. Sam Patterson, great counter shot for a big KO win against, it was an upset too, over Danny Barlow. Austin Lane got put out cold by debuting Mario Pinto. Chepe Mariscal beat Ricardo Ramos by unanimous decision. Some fun striking moments in there. A lot of pressure from Mariscal. Danny Silva beat Lucas Almeida by split decision. JJ Aldrich of the Deep, never not gonna call her that. If you know, you know. Dark Souls. JJ Aldrich of the Deep got a unanimous decision win on Andrea Lee. On Andrea Lee. Oh, was that a tongue tie? Ramazanbek Timarov beat Charles Johnson to open up the card by unanimous decision. And, yeah, I thought this card wasn't bad. It was fine. But you know what fight's gonna be sick? This coming pay-per-view. Hopefully me and Carl get to get to shoot the preview show today. I am gonna go to sleep after this. And just hope I wake up after, like, this little nap. Hopefully this nap doesn't turn into a sleep. Fingers crossed. If not, I have a backup plan, and I'm going to hit Carl up with my backup plan. Hopefully we get to recap it together, because supposed to yesterday, I slept past my alarm, and I woke up a little late, but I still had enough time to do it. But my mom called me and, like, woke me up and was like, hey, blah, blah. I was like, oh. So I just left over there. I didn't have my phone like almost the whole day. So, dealing with some family stuff. And, yeah, that sucks, you know. Definitely been sleeping odd, which creates some issues. But I stayed up late tonight to try and at least get this out for you guys as soon as I could, and give you some more ASMR Joe, because Carl was requesting it. All right, but that's it for me. I'm Joe with the INC. Thank you so much for watching. Peace.